Tonight's episode brought to you by...
Hey, it's Jimmy James from James, Jameson and Johnson, and I'm here to tell you that I know it's Christmas time. I know it's the worst time of the year because you gotta find that money, honey. What we gonna do? How are we gonna pay for all these damn gifts? Look, all you gotta do is call up Uncle Jimmy. Look, did you have a little too much eggnog at the office party? Did they hit you with another one of them pesky DUIs? It's not your fault. Time to sue your job. Are you a Muslim, a Jew, an atheist? Did someone wish you a Merry Christmas? That may be actionable. Are you tired of being harassed by those Salvation Army Santas every time you go to the grocery store? Call 1-800-JUST-JIM. I'll take those scumbags to court. That's 1-800-JUSTJIM. We're going to sue everybody this holiday season. We will put that Christmas money in your pocket. We will save Christmas. Call Jimmy and let me be the savior for your family. All right, Jimmy loves you. Bye.
Ho, ho, ho! It's your friend Santa Claus for our friends at Chuck-It Bucket. Oh, it's Christmas time again. My favorite time of year. I love helping all the children of the world get wonderful presents. But what I really don't love is gaining an unsightly amount of weight. Old Santa goes down a lot of chimneys every year on Christmas Eve, and everyone's so nice. They leave milk and cookies, and maybe even a bit of special eggnog for the big guy. If it weren't for Chuck-It Bucket, I'd be 1,000 pounds! But with Chuck-It Bucket, I can eat anything I want. All the cookies, all the pie, all the brownies, all the candy, and Santa doesn't gain a single ounce. How? I'm not telling. All I'll say is, it's quick. It's easy. It's magic.
Welcome to this week's War On Morons, where we speak truth to stupidity. I'm Anissa.
And I'm Jay.
And here are this week's top morons.
All right, with it being Christmas time, let's just start the week off with a block of Christmas-related stories. We're going to start off with actually got kind of a heartwarming story.
Really?
Yeah, it's a everybody likes Christmas time. Every show worth its salt is going to do a Christmas special. We've got those wonderful Christmas movies on the Hallmark Channel. Netflix throwing their hat into the ring. They're coming up with a movie called The First Temptation of Christ.
Okay, the title sounds a little weird, but maybe if you tell us about the premise.
Okay, so the premise is it's about Jesus, and he's a flaming homosexual.
What?
Yeah, it's a gay Jesus story for Christmas.
I thought that woman last week was, like, on drugs or something. I didn't realize this was a true thing.
Oh, she's innovative. Or maybe she just works for Netflix. Anyway, this is not sitting well with fundamentalist Christians. Over 1 million, almost 2 million people have signed a petition asking Netflix to take down the show. I just think they don't know who they're dealing with. I mean, this is Netflix. This is what they do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty moronic if you go after a very small segment of the population with your new show and risk offending, 86% of the world's population?
Something like that. But either way, they're committed to it, so, coming to a Netflix screen near you.
I think that's
Yay,
one
Jesus.
Christmas movie I'll be skipping this year. All right, well, our next story comes in the form of Christmas lights. If you don't like the Christmas movies, you don't like the Christmas show, surely you love driving around the neighborhood and seeing all the decorations that your neighbors put up. It's fun for the kids, it's fun for the family. And one woman decided to get a little bit creative with her Christmas decorating this year.
Yeah, Shelby Gash, great name, Shelby Gash in Kansas, Lenexa, Kansas, decided to shape her Christmas lights into a gigantic penis and point them at her neighbors.
Wow, I mean, nothing says ho 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 like male genitalia on your roof.
Yeah, it's 60 feet of lights. As she so eloquently told the local news, it's a giant glowing dick. She thinks it's hilarious because it shows how uptight her neighborhood's become because all of her neighbors are they're pretty upset with her.
Well, I mean, I'd be pretty uptight too if my children were being subjected to, phallic symbols in somebody's Christmas decorations. That's horrific.
Well, it's 2019.
Yeah, they better get used to it.
Get with the program. They've probably seen worse.
All right. Our next story comes out of the sky, actually. An American Eagle flight from Pensacola to Miami had to return to the airport after a passenger was faking an illness. Why was she faking an illness?
Well, she was trying to get a better seat. So the reason I put this in the Christmas block is travel is already a nightmare around the holidays. Please, please, please. I know we have a lot of listeners in Florida, so I know you need to hear this. Do not try this. She faked an illness on the plane so she could get a bigger seat. When the employees told her that they could not offer her better accommodations, she just leveled up and acted even more ill until they got so scared she was going to die that they flew all the way back from Miami to Pensacola.
Wow. And then, I mean, in a true, fate of karma here, police were called when she refused to leave the airplane.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
I'm going to try something a little different with the hotline today. Of course, you can reach us at 813-906-9099. We want to hear from our listeners, but we kind of want to keep it on topic. It got a little weird last week. So with it being Christmas time, I mean, we're just less than 10 days away from the big day. Let's do a little bit of a survey. Why don't you call in and tell us what you and your family love to eat at Christmas time?
Yeah, let us know what your favorite tradition is, what you like to enjoy with your family. And, a lot of people nowadays are trying that Beyond Meat or Impossible Burger stuff. I mean, is that something you'd ever consider trying on your holiday meal? Let us know.
That could be kind of an interesting topic of discussion. Would you do vegan Christmas or veggie Christmas? But before you do, I've recently read an article. I mean, I'm seeing this stuff everywhere. You cannot escape it. I mean, you're just sitting around watching TV. Fast food companies like KFC, Burger King, they're trying to get you to go there and eat their basically fake meat, the Beyond Meat or the Impossible Burgers. I see billboards every day on my commute from work. There's a giant billboard trying to get me to go eat some fake meat somewhere. And it's like, is there some kind of crisis that I don't know about? Are we running out of cows and chickens?
Well, I think the idea is for people who've already made the decision they don't want to eat meat, it's an idea to give them an option for them to still enjoy the foods that every other person would like. I mean, let's face it, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, it could be pretty inconvenient to not be able to stop by a regular fast food drive-thru and get a burger.
I guess so. I just don't know a lot of... I know plenty of vegetarians and vegans. I don't know a whole lot of them that, really tend to talk about having cravings for Burger King and KFC.
That's a fair enough point.
With that said, I do have some interesting stories about all this meatless stuff, the plant-based foods. This one I found pretty interesting. So those veggie burgers apparently are almost indistinguishable from dog food.
Wow, that is definitely not how they market it.
Yeah, well, they're so heavily processed, and they've got all kinds of different weird starches and ingredients mixed in to try to mimic what the texture and the taste of meat would be, that they end up being pretty similar to what you'd feed your pet. Now, to be fair, we're talking premium dog food.
Premium dog food,
yeah.
as opposed to Alpo.
Yeah, we're not talking Alpo here. We're talking the good shit. But that's what you're eating. So when you go to Burger King and you order that Impossible Burger, you might as well be eating a,
That's
Alpo.
pretty disgusting.
Yeah. There's another story here. That, speaking of Burger King, with all that they're trying to do to appease the vegetarians, it just got them sued.
sued.
Yep, and I'm not even talking about Jimmy here. So a man is suing Burger King because the meatless Impossible Whopper is cooked on the same grill as meat products.
Well, I don't really see how he has a case here, to be honest. Of course it is.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? They're going to bring in a whole new grill just for your veggie shit? But, I mean, he's saying that they advertise that their vegan option is meat-free, but says it's contaminated by meat byproduct just by being on the same grill. And he says that this is false advertising. They're benefiting monetarily from offering something vegan that's not, in fact, vegan. Burger King's declined to comment, but I can only imagine this is going to lead to to a little bit of a situation for them and probably for anybody else that's catering to this crowd.
Look, I've got news for anybody who has complaints about how Burger King prepares their food. There's a lot more things that you should be worried about than whether the Impossible Burger was cooked on the same grill as a beef burger. I'm sure they're not washing their hands. Let's just put it that way.
Allegedly. Please don't sue us, Burger King. Don't call Jim.
All right, it looks like we're getting a caller on line 1. Hello, caller. Who's calling in?
Yes, can you hear me okay? Am I on the air?
Yes, I can hear you great.
Oh, wonderful. This is Mac. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I just wanted to call and chime in when you were asking what my family loves to eat for Christmas supper. Everyone I know, everybody in Cincinnati, everyone in northern Kentucky, we're all the same. We love to eat Mac's Impossible Chili. It's the greatest food. It's so wonderful.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Okay. So when you say...
it's delicious. It tastes just like meat. It's hard for me to believe it.
Okay. Well, awesome. I mean, I've never heard of that restaurant, but...
It's the best. Everybody raves about it. Everyone in the entire metro area. We're shouting it from the street corners. We're saying, hey, you, I see you there, on your way to work. Why don't you just come over instead and get some Mac's Impossible Chili? Hey, you, are you a vegan or a vegetarian? You won't believe it. You got to have some. Even if you're not and you like meat, you're going to love it. It's impossible how good it is.
Wow. You're giving it a rave review. If any of our listeners are in Cincinnati, maybe they should go check this place out.
Oh, yeah, you got to come on down. We're open to... I heard that they're open till 10 o'clock at night.
Wait a minute. How are you affiliated with Mac's Impossible Chili?
Okay, to be honest, I'm going to let you know it's my restaurant. I'm Mac.
Oh, boy. All right, Mac.
Yes.
Well, I understand that you're offering a vegan option or vegetarian option, but I don't necessarily love
it's impossibly good.
Right. I get it. But, calling up, and just plugging your own restaurants, not the coolest thing in the world.
You asked what I like to eat. I love to eat my own food because it's so delicious. I tell you, Anissa, we rebranded about a month ago. We used to just be called Mac's Chili. But I saw these commercials. Everybody's talking about this fake meat stuff. And I said, you know what? I want to be good for the environment and the animal lovers too. So I decided we'd be called Mac's Impossible Chili. And I'll let everybody know it's vegan friendly, it's vegetarian friendly, and everybody says, Mac, I can't believe it. The chili tastes, exactly like it used to. But even though it tastes the same, we're doing booming business. Booming business. I mean, you should have seen my numbers for November. Even with the holiday and everything in November, we did triple the business than we did in October.
Wow. I mean, that is a huge uptick.
Yeah, I'm rolling in it. I'm rolling in it. All you got to do is tell these fruitcakes that you're serving them vegetarian stuff, and they all buy it.
Wait a minute. So you're not actually using Impossible brand meat substitute?
No, I don't use Impossible brand, but I brand it as Impossible. I mean, I can call my chili whatever I want. I could call it, great chili. I could call it the best chili in town, and I wouldn't be lying, but I found that when I call it Impossible Chili, and when I let people know we're vegetarian friendly here, if you're a vegetarian, you're welcome in my restaurant with open arms. I make a lot more money.
But that's incredibly misleading. I mean, these people are coming to your restaurant assuming that you're giving them vegetarian and vegan food, and apparently
Well, who says I'm not? Who says I'm not? I never said I'm not serving vegetarian food. I very well could be.
But you're calling
and everybody tells me, they say when they eat a bowl of chili, they say, boy, Mac, that was so good. It was beefy. It had a lot of flavor and texture. I would never, ever have thought that was not made out of meat. And I say, yeah, you know what? Neither would I.
Well, what is it made out of? If it's not Impossible brand, what is it made out of?
It's made with love, and it's made with skill by my wonderful team of chefs and cooks. It's delicious is what it's made out of. It's made out of deliciousness.
Okay, but you're not answering the question. If it's not using...
I didn't call up to I didn't... Whoa, what am I? Is this some kind of trial? Is this an impeachment? I thought I was calling up to tell you what I like to eat at Christmas time. I thought I was telling you my favorite restaurant in Cincinnati. If you're ever in town, you're welcome to come out and have a bowl.
Okay, well, look, this is very concerning. It sounds to me like you're just calling it Impossible Chili. It sounds like you're still using meat.
No worries. I call it Impossible because I think it's just impossible how good it is.
Impossible how good it is.
That's... you said it. I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna put you in our next advertisement. I'm gonna say Anissa from the War On Morons. She says it's impossible how good it is.
Don't you
dare! I appreciate your endorsement.
Don't you dare! I am not endorsing you. Now, Matt, hold on a second, because it looks like we have another caller coming in on line 2.
Oh, that's cool. Where are they from?
They're actually from, get this, Cincinnati.
Oh, hey, that's wonderful. Hey, put them on.
Hello, am I on the air?
Apparently, I can hear you. So you're in Cincinnati. Have you ever been to Mac's Impossible Chili?
Yes, I have. I can't believe this show. This is 2 weeks in a row now that something has come up. I went to your restaurant. Ever since I got rid of the Chuck-It Bucket, I decided to change my diet. I've been following a strict vegan diet. I'm eating your chili, and I thought it was completely vegan.
Oh, hey, whoa, hold on. Is this that fat woman? Is this Angela?
Hey, watch it, Mac.
Hey, what are you talking about me?
Hey, I'm saying you come to my restaurant 3 times a day, and then you're going to have the goal to come on the radio and you're going to trash us? You love our food. Tell everyone how much you love our chili.
Of course I'm going to trash you. I thought it was completely vegan. Now apparently you're just serving me meat.
I never said anything about vegan. I just said we're vegan friendly. Are you a vegan?
Yes.
Honey, you don't look like a vegan. You look like you'd eat anything.
You are a piece of trash. You need to look at that lawyer. I gotta call that lawyer.
You don't need to call any lawyer. You need to shut up. You don't.
Where's the number for that Jimmy?
You don't need to worry about a lawyer. I've got lawyers of my own. I should sue you for going on the radio and saying that I'm not a vegan restaurant.
I'd like to see you try. You're the one that called in and started talking about this yourself, you big idiot.
Am I on the air?
Who patched him in?
Hey, he's a sponsor.
This is Jimmy. Yes. Oh, you. I set up. Hold on. I'll be with you in a minute. All right. Who am I talking to? Who's this? Angie?
Yes, what?
All right. So it sounds like you may have a case. This may be actionable. This man has forced meat down your throat when you've been a vegan for your entire life. You care so deeply for the... Look, I didn't ask you to talk. I'm your attorney. You let me do the talking. I need you to shut your mouth and let me make you some money. It's Christmas time, honey. We're trying to get rich. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Look, I think you people are trying to exploit us. You shut your mouth. I can't believe you're force-feeding these people a bunch of meat, and you're telling everybody it's meatless. You're saying you're affiliated with the Impossible Corporation. I never said that. Look, I can say, you shut a goddamn mouth. Look, I love this time of year. I love making money, so let's just make this easy. We don't have to go to trial. Why don't you just fork it over? Fork it over. Do a settlement right here on the air. I didn't do anything wrong. Why do I have to settle something? In fact, I don't have any time to speak to these people. I'm leaving. What the? Did he just hang up on me?
It sure sounds like it.
All right, Angela, you call me after the show. 1-800-JUST-JIM, 1-800-JUSTJIM. Man, I gotta tell you, I love this program. Ever since I've been affiliated with you, I've been getting so much business. I got people trying to sue the Chuck-It Bucket. I got people trying to sue that asshole. I'll track him down. I'm gonna come down to the studio later. I got a new commercial for you. You're gonna love it.
Oh my God, Jimmy, we already played your commercial. You don't need to come down to the studio.
Great. This one's great. It says Christmas. It's back. Is your grandma at the Christmas table saying you look fat? Let's sue Grandma. Is your cousin Kenny plugging up the toilet again?
Jimmy!
That may be actionable. What?
Oh my God, that is awful. That's enough out of you.
Okay, that was just ridiculous.
How do these people keep getting through?
Well, apparently the only people that listen to the show are deranged. No offense if you're listening and you're not deranged, but the people that actually choose to call in. If you don't have some kind of mental condition, please, 813-906-9099. We were supposed to be talking about, like, cooking turkey and stuff.
Yeah, please try to stay on topic if you're going to call in.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I've been trying to avoid this because it's a stupid story, but, I mean, we have to talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty big news.
All right, so I'm going to just get through it. It's idiotic, but Congress is trying to impeach the president right now. I don't know how a group of, frankly, outright socialists that have been trying to tear up both the First and the Second Amendments, and whose economic and tax policy violates the 13th Amendment, are all of a sudden constitutional purists, but they think they have a case.
Because impeaching the president always turns out well for the American public.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you can't beat him, then you just really want to embarrass yourself before you lose 45 states. I guarantee, anybody, like, in your day-to-day life, like at your job, like people you interact with on a regular basis, is anybody even talking about this?
Well, I try to actively avoid the subject just because most people turn into, drooling lunatics when you talk to them about politics nowadays.
Honestly, I don't, except for like one or two of the, the type, like the people on Facebook that are obsessed with politics. Other than a couple people that always talk about politics, this is not water cooler discussion. So I don't really see how they think this is working, especially when they don't have a case. I just saw this article that apparently there's Democrats that are actually like changing their parties and turning on their own party because they can see that this is going to get them into a bunch of trouble politically. So far it's really, really working well for them.
Yeah, I mean, if your big political move is so controversial that people of your own party decide to switch, maybe you should consider yourself a moron.
Yeah, so that's all I got on that. Except for this, I thought this was hilarious. So there's a Louisiana Democratic representative named Cedric Richmond. The reason this is so funny to me is he's been on the record talking about how he thinks that the impeachment needs to be treated as solemn, and we have to have the utmost seriousness when dealing with this, so serious, important topic. Well, they caught him on CNN, and he was at the impeachment hearing, and he was watching golf on his laptop.
So, I guess golf is solemn too now?
Hey, you know what? I mean, maybe he had some money riding on the game. Who knows? Anyway, enough about that. But we do have to touch on another kind of serious topic, also related to Congress. This isn't really your typical War On Morons story. In fact, it was pretty awful. I mean, did you see that horrible situation in New Jersey last week?
Yeah, so a pair of criminals got into a war zone level shootout with police in a grocery store in New Jersey last week. Really sadly, several people were killed, including one of the officers. Both criminals were killed and several innocent bystanders. So, I mean, truly a tragedy.
But somehow, I can't remember what they call this group of idiots, but one of those, the group of the young female congresswomen that's always taking headlines, they found a way to make this political. So Rashida Talib, she wrongly claims that white supremacy was behind the Jersey City slaughter. She said it was like an anti-Semitic white supremacist attack.
Well, that doesn't quite sound right.
Yeah, considering that both of the shooters were black.
Yeah, kind of hard to make a case for white supremacy there.
Hey, but whatever it takes to to get yourself in the headlines and to push another divisive issue. I've about had enough of this political block, but there's one other thing that I really want to bring up. Good old comrade Bernie Sanders. So he has endorsed a congressional candidate, and what makes this funny and War on Morons worthy is that the candidate, Cenk Uygur, supports bestiality.
What?
Yeah, so he wants to legalize bestiality. Apparently, Bernie liked everything else. He couldn't stand with the banging animals thing, so he's retracted his endorsement.
Well, you might want to look into, if somebody supports bestiality before you endorse them next time.
Well, to be fair, he's running for office out of California, so I'm sure that a lot of his constituents, they probably back it too.
Ah, my God. California. They're really out of control, but if they go this route and they vote for this guy, I have to say, it'd be a pretty foul idea.
I see what you did there. And now a word from our very reputable sponsors.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. It's Santa Claus again to talk to you some more about our good friends at Chuck-It Bucket. This time, I'm here with one of our top dietitians at the North Pole Chuck-It Bucket facility, Nimsy, the Christmas elf.
Hi, I'm Nimsy. I'm the chief dietitian at the North Pole Chuck-It Bucket facility. Here at Chuck-It Bucket, we've been researching for years to determine the best methodology to weight loss. And what we've found is that you can masticate it, just don't digest it. You can use the Chuck-It Bucket methodology to avoid packing on the extra pounds at Christmas. It's patented, so you know it works.
Oh, thanks, Nimsy. You sure make a magical formula. And if it wasn't for Chuck-It Bucket, there's no way I could fit down your chimneys this year at Christmas. Remember, it's quick, it's easy.
It's magic.
Ho, 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 ho.
Alrighty, and now let's get into some stupid criminal news. First up, we have a man who stole $88,000 from a bank vault who was caught after he flashed stacks of bills on social media.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, he looks really cool. I mean, he looks like a rapper or something.
Well, get this. Orlando Henderson, who's a bank employee in Charlotte, North Carolina, allegedly stole the money from the bank's vault and then coincidentally posted a image of himself holding that same money on his social media. Probably not the best idea.
No, honestly, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I mean, you ever see, the movies, the heist movies? You're not even supposed to spend the money until, plenty of time has passed. And this guy's like, nah, dog, I'm going to go on Facebook. Let me go on Instagram. I need everybody to see me posing with $90,000.
Unbelievable.
All right, we've got another one here. Basically a Darwin Award candidate. So a guy was shot to death by the handmade device that he made to protect his home.
Kevin McAllister, he ain't.
No. Ronald Sear, a 65-year-old guy in Maine, he... This happened on Thanksgiving, so we got to it a little bit late. So I guess he rigged up some device on his front door that's designed to fire a handgun if anyone attempted to enter the house.
Man, I guess this guy really didn't want to have his family over for Thanksgiving dinner.
When police came to his house, they found other unknown devices, and they had to contact the state's bomb squad.
Wow, Grandpa. Super weird.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, he's in Maine. I mean, how many, armed robberies do you have to be worried about in freaking Maine?
Good question.
All right, one other story here from Louisiana.
So a man stole an electric shopping cart from Walmart and drove it from one bar to another, all in an attempt to avoid a DWI.
And he did avoid the DWI, but Bryce Kendall Williams, 32, was charged with felony unauthorized use of a movable after driving the motorized shopping cart.
Did he not think anybody would realize that this Walmart shopping cart didn't belong to him?
Well, I mean, he's to his credit, he was probably wasted.
I mean, it's not really a great excuse for being a moron. It seems to just exacerbate the fact that you are one.
Exactly. This next one, it's kind of touchy. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's moronic, but it's also really sad. So a prosecutor, so a professional attorney, was allegedly using his 13-year-old daughter as bait to catch a suspected child molester.
Like, you'd really think he'd think this one out? I mean, something could go wrong?
I mean, who wants to use their own kid as bait? I mean, regardless of how stupid it might be to go after somebody vigilante style who you think may be a child molester, don't use your own kid.
No, they never did that on Catch the Predator.
Absolutely not.
So it did actually work, I guess, to an extent, because the person that they were targeting, the suspected pedophile, 76 years old. Who was it, Joe Biden? The 76-year-old man was arrested and charged with lewd acts and false imprisonment of a minor under the age of 14. But, I mean, that makes it worse, because this is someone that was actually willing and capable of doing this shit. And he put, like, do you remember when you were 13? I mean, you're a kid. Like, you're not exactly going to be able to fight your way out of a situation if things go south.
It's unbelievable. I can't imagine the stupidity it takes to think to yourself, especially as a prosecutor. I mean, you're dealing with criminals all day long. You know how terribly wrong things can go, and you still use your own kid as bait? What the hell's wrong with you?
That's disgusting. In fact, it's child abuse. Which brings us to our final story of the evening. Speaking of child abuse, let's talk about our old friend Angry Greta. Did you hear? She's a Time Person of the Year.
Very interesting choice, although given the way the media's been portraying her, not at all surprising.
Yeah, I mean, at first I felt sad for this kid. Obviously, we're talking about Greta Thunberg, the seemingly psychotic young girl out of Sweden. I think she's got Asperger's or something, like some kind of autism, and she actually believes the insanity that they're filling her head with about how the world's gonna we're basically looking at an apocalypse. Like, within the next 10 years we're gonna see the entire world wiped out because of the weather.
Haven't we all heard this before?
We've been hearing it since the 70s, probably since before that, but, you know, before then they at least assigned some religious stuff to it when they said the end is nigh. Now they're telling us that the water levels are rising. They're telling us the water levels are falling. They're telling us it's getting colder. They're telling us it's getting warmer. They're telling us all kinds of nonsense, and because she is very good at yelling at people and acting the petulant child, apparently they've decided to make her a spokesperson for this movement. So she's the Times spokesperson, or Times Person of the Year. And the next day, she decided to give a speech to some youth activists in Italy, where she said that she wants to put politicians up against the wall.
Really?
Like, is she talking like a firing squad?
I mean, it doesn't sound good.
It sounds like a threat of violence. She's actually had to apologize for her remarks because she sounds like Hitler Jr. By the way, Hitler also won the Times Person of the Year.
No, come on, you're making that up.
No, I think it was like 1938 or something.
Oh my god, unbelievable. I mean, I understand that she's 16 years old, so clearly she could very well, say something that she doesn't fully realize the implications, but that just goes to show that she's 16 years old. Why is she an international spokesperson to begin with?
Yeah, I don't want to listen to a 16-year-old when I'm 16. Like, let alone now. I mean, this is somebody that's never held a job, that's never paid taxes, that only knows what's been put into her head by her handlers. And frankly, I'm sick of seeing this fetal alcohol syndrome looking kid yell at me about the damn weather. It's offensive to me. And so Greta Thunberg, if you're out there, shut up. Was that too harsh?
Yes.
Oh well. Anyway, oh shit, we're getting a call. Should we pick it up?
Sure, I'm feeling lucky.
All right, why not? Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, hello. This is Susie from New York.
Susie from New York. Hey, are you calling to talk about your Christmas traditions? What do you like to eat for the holiday?
No, I'm not here to talk about Christmas. I want to say I don't understand why you're being so mean to Greta Thunberg. She is doing what to save our planet, and you fat fuck? What's wrong with you?
Oh my god! So you're believing this propaganda, this nonsense. Have you been around a while? I've been hearing this stuff for my entire life, and the weather's changed by about half a degree. They've been.
Know nothing. You know nothing about the planet. You know nothing about the environment. The scientists, they all agree. And Greta is doing the work to get the word out there.
It's propaganda. How come she hasn't gone to China? China's actually pumping pollutants into the air, but they're already a communist country, so she's already achieved her goal there, hasn't she?
How dare you? How dare you say that Greta is doing what she needs to do? She's been named the Times Person of the
Wait,
Year.
did you just say how dare you? Where did you say
How
you're?
dare you?
You're from New York. You don't have a New York accent. Who is this?
This is Susie.
This
Susie
is-
from New York.
Oh yeah, Susie from New York. You sound like Greta Thunberg. Is this Greta?
All right. You got me. It's Greta. You know what? I can't stand it. You know nothing about the environment. How you don't understand the danger we are living in every day. You have stolen our future. You have stolen my dreams.
No, trust me, kid. It's gonna be okay. You need to just relax a little bit. You're gonna give yourself a heart attack before you turn 20.
Oh, I am so sick of hearing this calm down, chill out, heart attack. Who can relax when the world is dying, breathing out its final breath before our very eyes?
I gotta say, this is an honor. I never thought I'd speak to such a great comedian.
I will make you carbon neutral.
What? You're gonna make me carbon neutral?
I'll kill you.
What?
That was a little weird, but to be fair, you kind of had that one coming with the stuff you were saying.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I've had enough death threats and crazy people for a week. Can we just call it a show? See the people next week?
Yeah, I don't see this one getting any better. Have a good week, folks.
All right, have a good one. We'll see you next Monday.
Brother, you better get down on your knees and pay 1,000 buckles are being born every fucking day.
Kids, did you catch Mommy kissing Santa Claus? That may be actionable. Call 1-800-JUST-JIM and we'll take Santa to court. Look, Christmas, it's the worst time of the year. I hate it, you hate it, everybody hates it. They're all in your pockets. They're asking for this, they're asking for that. You got grubby little fingers handing you lists full of a bunch of trash that you don't even want to buy because you're not going to get to use. How do you get through the season? You got to get some money. Luckily, Uncle Jim is here. We're going to sue everybody. We're going to take everybody's money, whatever it takes. Let's see. I know. Did you have your kids at the mall? Were they sitting in Santa's lap? Did Santa look a little too happy? Call 1-800-JUST-JIM. That's JUSTJIM. And I'll take care of it for you. Hey, kids, did you want a hippopotamus for Christmas? Did you get nothing but some dirty old stuffed toy? Call 1-800-JUST-JIM. That may be actionable. That looks like a win for Jim. Sue, sue, sue!